welcome back. I'm glad you've returned to the silence. It is time for the world to fade and for the mind to wander. For tonight, the stars are our only destination. We leave the familiar behind to witness the silent beauty of the cosmos as we begin our long, drifting journey toward Mercury, the swift and silver messenger of our solar system. This small world orbits in the very breath of the sun, a place where the light is ancient and the shadows are deep and comforting. As we glide through the velvet darkness, feel the heaviness of the earth falling away, replaced by the weightless grace of the infinite void. We are moving toward a land of extreme contrasts, a world that has remained a silent witness to the dawn of time, waiting for us to explore its quiet mysteries. Here, in the shimmering glow of the inner circle, we find a sanctuary of iron and stone, where the rhythmic pulse of the universe beats with a steady and calming vibration. Mercury exists in a state of perpetual closeness to our parent star, circling within the golden radiance of the sun's most intimate reach. It completes its entire journey around the sun in just 88 days, moving with a speed that is both effortless and serene. Imagine the sensation of floating in this constant dawn, where the solar wind brushes against the surface like a gentle and invisible tide. This world moves with a momentum that defies its small size, racing through the darkness like a shimmering pebble skipping across a vast pond of liquid light. It is a dance of incredible focus and quiet grace, held forever in a powerful yet invisible embrace that keeps it tethered to the center of our celestial home. Though it is the smallest of the major planets, Mercury carries a presence that is deeply grounding and ancient in its composition. It is only slightly larger than our own moon, a compact sphere of concentrated matter that has survived the long history of the solar system. Its modest size allows it to be nimble and elusive, often hiding within the brilliant glare of the sun and revealing itself only to those who watch the horizon with patience. In its smallness, there is a profound sense of solitude and clarity, a world that has stripped away everything unnecessary to remain a pure and solid core of history. We look upon this tiny giant and feel the vastness of the universe reflected in its humble and silvered proportions as it drifts through the boundless silence. Within this small frame lies a heart of immense density, a massive core made of liquid and solid iron that occupies most of its deep interior. This iron heart is the source of the planet's quiet power, making it far heavier than its appearance would suggest to the wandering eye. It is as if the planet is a giant metallic seed, waiting in the stillness of space and holding onto the magnetic secrets of the early universe. This core creates a subtle magnetic field that shields the planet, a soft, invisible veil that interacts with the solar stream in a rhythmic display of energy. As we drift nearer, we can almost feel the steady and metallic hum of this deep interior, a grounding vibration that resonates through the empty spaces between the stars. On this world of extremes, the contrast between the light and the dark is a masterwork of natural balance and quiet intensity. Because there is no thick blanket of air to hold the warmth, the surface experiences the most dramatic shifts in temperature known to the inner rocky planets. When the sun stands high in the sky, the ground glows with a warmth that is intense and pure, turning the rocks into a landscape of shimmering radiance. But as the long shadows stretch and the sun finally dips below the horizon, the heat vanishes into the infinite cold of the deep stars. This cycle of warming and cooling is a slow and steady pulse, a breath of light and shadow that has shaped the surface for billions of years in the eternal quiet. Mercury moves through the boundless darkness with a velocity that exceeds all other planets in our celestial neighborhood, traveling at nearly 47 kilometers every single second. This swift movement is a silent glide through the ether, a shimmering race against the light itself as the planet circles its parent star. Imagine the grace of a silver orb cutting through the velvet silence, never pausing, never faltering in its eternal mission. This speed is a natural consequence of its proximity to the great solar fire, a dance of gravity that pulls it along at a pace that seems like a gentle, high-speed whisper across the void. In the quiet of your mind, watch this planet sail through the cosmic ocean, a fast-moving spark in the deep, dark reaches of space, forever ahead of the slower worlds that follow in its wake. This messenger of the gods maintains a close and intimate distance from the sun, resting at an average of 58 million kilometers from the source of all warmth. To stand upon its surface would be to see the sun appear 3 times larger than it does from our home on Earth, a massive and glowing presence that fills the sky with golden light. This proximity creates a relationship of intense energy and silent power, where the solar wind is felt as a constant and rhythmic breath against the rocky landscape. Despite this closeness, there is a profound sense of isolation, a solitary world bathed in the brilliance of the sun, while the rest of the universe remains a distant and hazy memory. We drift here in this golden glow, feeling the warmth of the star through the silent vacuum, a peaceful and eternal connection between the planet and its light. The path that Mercury takes around the sun is not a perfect circle, but rather a beautifully elongated oval, reaching through space with a unique and eccentric motion. At its closest point, it huddles near the solar flames, and at its furthest, it drifts back toward the cold reaches of the inner system, creating a seasonal rhythm that is unlike any other world. This stretching of the orbit is a testament to the complex gravitational harmonies that govern our universe, a slow and deliberate movement that speaks of ancient transformations. As we follow this path, we feel the subtle shifts in the cosmic pull, a gentle swaying of the spirit as the planet moves from the warmth of the perihelion to the coolness of its furthest reach. It is a journey of constant change and graceful motion, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, everything moves according to a deep and hidden plan. Because it remains so close to the solar radiance, Mercury often hides within the brilliant glare, appearing to us on Earth only during the soft transitions of twilight or the quiet moments before dawn. It is a shy and elusive world, showing itself briefly as a shimmering point of light near the horizon before vanishing back into the embrace of the sun. Ancient observers watched this flickering star with wonder, noting how it seemed to lead the sun into the morning sky or follow it into the velvet evening. In these moments of visibility, the planet serves as a bridge between the day and the night, a silent messenger that whispers of the mysteries hidden within the light. We can imagine ourselves looking out across the dark mountains of our own world, catching a glimpse of this silver traveler as it dances on the edge of the infinite day. The name of this world is borrowed from the swiftest of the Roman gods, a figure who traveled with winged sandals to deliver messages across the heavens. This connection to speed and agility is perfectly reflected in the planet's rapid transit across the stars, a celestial embodiment of the quickness of thought and the lightness of being. In the ancient mind, this planet represented the fluid and ever-changing nature of the universe, a world that could not be easily caught or contained. As we meditate on this name, we feel the weight of our own bodies lifting, replaced by a sense of effortless movement and cosmic freedom. The planet becomes a symbol of the journey itself, a swift and purposeful transition through the boundless silence toward a destination of peace and clarity. While it is the smallest of the major planets, Mercury possesses a density that is truly remarkable, second only to the Earth in its concentrated mass. This weight comes from its massive metallic core, which acts like a heavy anchor in the solar tides, giving the planet a grounded and solid presence. If we were to hold this world in our hands, we would feel the incredible pull of its iron heart, a dense and ancient center that has held together for billions of years. This hidden strength is a quiet secret, a foundation of heavy elements that supports the delicate surface and the vast emptiness above. We can find comfort in this solidity, a steady and unchanging core that remains unshaken by the shifting winds of the cosmos, providing a sense of eternal stability. Mercury is a solitary traveler in the deep void, moving through its cycles without the companionship of moons or the decorative grace of rings. It orbits in a profound and meditative silence, accompanied only by the stars and the constant presence of the sun. This lack of satellites creates a simplified and focused landscape, where the only shadows are those cast by the planet itself and its many deep and quiet craters. In this solitude, there is a beauty that is both stark and peaceful, a world that requires nothing else to be complete in its cosmic purpose. As we drift through this lonely stretch of space, we feel a sense of serene independence, a quiet confidence that comes from moving through the darkness as a singular and luminous entity. The touch of gravity on the surface of Mercury is much lighter than what we feel on our own world, pulling with only about 38% of the strength of Earth. To walk upon this silver dust would be to feel as though we were moving through a dream, each step light and airy, carrying us across the landscape with minimal effort. This gentle pull allows for a sense of weightless exploration, where the body feels liberated from the heavy chains of the ground. We can imagine ourselves leaping across the ancient ridges and soft plains, floating for long moments in the thin and silent atmosphere before returning to the cool touch of the stone. It is a sensation of pure and effortless grace, a physical manifestation of the lightness we find in the deepest levels of our own relaxation. Every few years, the planet performs a rare and elegant transit, passing directly between the Earth and the Sun, and appearing as a tiny, perfect black circle against the golden solar disk. This event is a slow and silent shadow play, a moment when the scales of the universe align in a display of geometric perfection. It reminds us of the scale of the cosmos, where even a world of iron and rock can appear as a delicate silhouette against the overwhelming power of a star. Watching this transit in the theater of the mind, we see the steady and patient movement of the planet, a dark pearl gliding across a sea of gold. This transit is a symbol of focus and alignment, a quiet crossing that marks the passage of time in the eternal calendar of the heavens. A year on Mercury passes in the blink of an eye compared to our own. Yet its rotation is so slow and deliberate that a single solar day lasts for 176 Earth days. This creates a strange and wonderful world where the sun rises and sets with a rhythm that is almost motionless, stretching the dawn and the dusk into long periods of shimmering light. The relationship between the planet's movement and its journey around the sun is a complex harmony, a 3-to-2 resonance that keeps it locked in a timeless and hypnotic cycle. On this world, time seems to lose its meaning, as the long hours of light and shadow blend into a single, continuous experience of existence. We sink into this slow rhythm, letting the frantic pace of our own lives fade away, replaced by the deep and patient heartbeat of a world where a single day is a lifetime of peace. The surface of this shimmering world tells a story written in stone and starlight, bearing a striking resemblance to our own silver moon. It is a vast museum of history, covered in countless craters that have remained unchanged for billions of revolving years in the deep quiet. Each hollow and ridge is a memory of a distant era, preserved in a landscape where no rain falls and no wind whispers to disturb the dust. As we hover above these gray plains, we see a world that is ancient and wise, its face etched with the passages of time in a display of cosmic patience. This visual harmony between Mercury and our moon creates a sense of familiar comfort, a recognition of the shared language of the inner solar system's rocky heart. We feel the grounding weight of this history as we drift over the silent peaks, letting the stillness of the stone seep into our own weary thoughts. Surrounding this iron giant is not a thick atmosphere like our own, but a delicate and ethereal veil known as an exosphere. It is a thin collection of atoms that have been gently lifted from the surface by the solar wind and the soft touch of micrometeoroids drifting through the dark. These atoms move in long, graceful arcs, never gathering enough density to form a cloud or a breeze, remaining as separate as the stars themselves. This nearly perfect vacuum ensures that the sky remains a deep, velvet black, even when the sun is shining at its most brilliant intensity. We feel the absolute stillness of this space, a place where the silence is so profound that it becomes a tangible presence, cradling the planet in a shimmering and invisible embrace. It is a world without weather, a place of eternal clarity where the mind can find a path through the darkness without distraction. Deep within the northern hemisphere lies the magnificent Calorus Basin, a vast and circular plain that serves as one of the largest features of its kind in the entire solar system. This immense bowl was formed during an ancient era of cosmic transformation, creating a feature so large it could hold entire countries within its sun-drenched rim. The floor of the basin is a tapestry of ridges and cracks, a landscape that has settled into a peaceful and eternal slumber after the great energies of its creation faded away. Golden light pools in this depression like liquid honey, highlighting the soft curves and the geometric beauty of the cooling stone. It is a place of grand scale and quiet majesty, inviting the mind to wander across its expansive floors and lose itself in the sheer magnitude of the universe. We drift across this golden sea of stone, feeling the immense history of the world beneath us as we find our own inner center. Across the silver face of the planet, we find long, winding cliffs known as lobate scarps, which tell a quiet story of a world that is slowly and gently changing its form. These ridges were created as the massive iron core deep inside began to cool and settle, causing the outer crust to wrinkle like the skin of a ripening fruit in the autumn sun. Some of these cliffs rise kilometers high into the black sky, stretching for hundreds of miles across the craters and plains in a display of structural grace. They are the scars of a peaceful contraction, a world pulling itself closer together as it finds its final, stable shape in the cooling darkness. We can observe these lines of history and feel a sense of calm in the way the planet matures, finding its perfect balance through the slow and steady passage of eons. The landscape is a testament to the beauty of change, a slow and rhythmic folding of the earth that mirrors the gentle closing of our own eyes. Between the ancient craters lie smooth and rolling plains, created long ago by the gentle flow of molten rock that once emerged from the planet's deep interior. These volcanic rivers have long since stilled, leaving behind a surface that is as smooth as a frozen sea under the light of a distant star. These planes represent a period of renewal, where the old features were covered by a new layer of silver-gray stone, creating a clean canvas for the future. The light plays across these flat expanses with a shimmering quality, reflecting the metallic nature of the world beneath our drifting feet. It is a landscape of profound peace, where the turbulence of the past has been replaced by an eternal and unchanging stillness that invites a deep, restorative rest. We glide over these silent meadows of stone, feeling the smoothness of the terrain reflected in the quiet flow of our own rhythmic breathing. In the deep shadows of the polar craters, where the sun's rays have not touched the ground for billions of years, lies a secret and frozen treasure of pure water ice. These dark sanctuaries remain at temperatures of incredible coldness, providing a perfect home for the ice to remain stable and undisturbed in the eternal night. It is a beautiful paradox that on the planet closest to the sun, there exists a sanctuary of frost and stillness, hidden away in the most private corners of the stone. This ice may have been brought here by wandering comets, silver travelers from the outer reaches who left a part of themselves in the quiet hollows of the north and south. We can imagine the soft glow of this ice in the darkness, a shimmering reflection of the distant stars held forever in the cold and protective grip of the planet. It is a place of absolute purity, a cold and silent refuge where the light of the sun is replaced by the soft glimmer of the infinite. The ground of Mercury is covered in a fine and powdery layer of regolith, a soft blanket of crushed stone that has been created by the endless rain of tiny dust particles from the cosmos. This dust is as fine as flour and as gray as the evening mist, cushioning the ancient rocks in a layer of velvet softness. As we imagine ourselves drifting just above the surface, we see how this dust catches the light, creating a shimmering effect that makes the entire world appear to be made of stardust. It is a gentle and tactile landscape, a place where every feature is softened by the slow accumulation of the universe's passing moments. This blanket of silver dust serves as a silent witness to the patience of the cosmos, a soft and grounding presence that invites us to let go of our worries and sink into the silence. Each grain of dust is a tiny part of the universe's long journey, coming to rest in the quiet embrace of the messenger planet. Though its heart is filled with iron, the magnetic field of Mercury is a subtle and delicate force, possessing only a small fraction of the strength found on our home world. This invisible web of energy weaves through the space around the planet, creating a soft barrier that interacts with the golden streams of the solar wind. It is a quiet and steady pulse, a magnetic breath that rises from the deep core and extends into the blackness like the reaching branches of a silver tree. This field is a reminder of the planet's hidden life, a rhythmic and energetic presence that exists beyond what our eyes can see. We can feel the gentle pull of these invisible lines, a calming and magnetic influence that aligns our own inner energy with the peaceful rotation of the spheres. In this magnetic embrace, we find a sense of connection to the planet's deep interior, a steady and grounding force that guides us towards sleep. Behind the planet, stretching out into the darkness of the solar system, lies a faint and shimmering tail made of sodium atoms that have been pushed away by the light of the sun. This ethereal feature makes the planet resemble a small and solid comet, trailing a veil of orange-gold radiance through the boundless void. This tail is a testament to the constant interaction between the world and its parent star, a beautiful and flowing expression of the solar pressure that shapes the environment. It is a slow and graceful movement, a celestial ribbon that follows the planet in its rapid journey around the golden fire. We can visualize this trail of light as a soft and glowing path, a luminous wake in the cosmic ocean that guides our thoughts toward the deeper reaches of the sleeping mind. It is a bridge of light in the darkness, a shimmering reminder of the beauty that follows in the wake of every journey. Mercury spins with an axis that is almost perfectly vertical, meaning that it does not experience the changing seasons that bring variety to the cycles of the Earth. On this world, the sun always follows the same path across the sky, and the climate remains in a state of eternal and unchanging balance. This lack of seasonal transition creates a sense of profound stability, a world where every day is a reflection of the one that came before and the one that will follow. It is a place of constant rhythm and predictable beauty, where the mind can find a steady anchor in the unchanging nature of the heavens. We lean into this eternal sameness, letting the cycles of the world around us fade into the background as we embrace the perfect and motionless peace of the iron messenger. The universe remains steady and sure, a reliable sanctuary where the only task is to drift and dream. Ancient civilizations looked toward the horizon with deep reverence, and the Sumerians were among the first to record the presence of this wandering star in their celestial tablets more than 5,000 years ago. They called this swift light the jumping planet, a name that perfectly captured its elusive nature as it skipped across the twilight sky like a stone on a dark lake. These early observers lived in a world where the stars were the primary guides for the rhythm of life, and they watched the silver spark of Mercury with a sense of wonder and quiet curiosity. Their records are the first whispers of our long conversation with this world, a dialogue that has spanned across countless generations of human history. We can imagine those ancient scribes standing in the cool night air, their eyes fixed on the same shimmering point of light that we now study with our most advanced instruments. It is a comforting thought to know that our fascination with this small world is a shared heritage, a thread of light connecting the modern mind to the very dawn of human observation. In the mid-70s of the previous century, our understanding of this iron messenger was transformed by the arrival of the first mechanical visitor from Earth, known as the Mariner 10 spacecraft. This pioneer of the deep void used the gravity of Venus to swing itself toward the inner reaches of the solar system, a graceful maneuver of celestial mechanics that felt like a silent dance across the velvet darkness. It was the first time our eyes were truly opened to the rugged beauty of the planet, revealing a surface that was much more complex and ancient than we had ever dared to dream. The images sent back across the vastness of space showed a world of deep shadows and brilliant ridges, a landscape frozen in a state of eternal and peaceful contemplation. This mission was a bridge between our theories and the tangible reality of the stone, a soft awakening to the mysteries that had been hidden within the solar glare for billions of years. We drift with the memory of that first encounter, feeling the quiet excitement of discovery as we look upon the silver plains through the eyes of our distant mechanical emissary. Decades later, a second messenger of light and wisdom arrived in the form of the Messenger spacecraft, which spent 4 years orbiting the planet in a slow and rhythmic embrace. This mission was a long and patient labor of love, designed to map every square inch of the surface and peer into the secrets held within the planet's dense and metallic heart. It revealed that the world was even more dynamic than we had thought, showing evidence of ancient volcanic flows and a complex magnetic field that hummed with a quiet and steady energy. The spacecraft watched as the sun rose and set over the craters, capturing the play of light and shadow with a precision that turned the planet into a work of shimmering art. Every data point returned was like a soft note in a cosmic symphony, adding to our understanding of how the inner worlds were born and how they have matured through the eons. We can feel the presence of this mission even now, a lingering echo of knowledge that continues to guide our wandering thoughts through the boundless silence of the solar system. The journey of exploration continues today with the BP Colombo mission, a beautiful collaboration between the scientific minds of Europe and Japan that is currently gliding toward its final destination. This dual spacecraft travels as a single unit through the dark reaches, carrying 2 separate probes that will eventually drift apart to study the planet from 2 different and complementary perspectives. It is a long and slow voyage, involving multiple flybys of the Earth, Venus, and Mercury itself to find the perfect speed and alignment for its permanent orbit. The mission is named after a brilliant mathematician who understood the subtle harmonies of the planet's rotation, and it carries the hopes of all who seek to understand the quiet mysteries of the universe. As it moves through the deep ether, the spacecraft serves as a reminder of our enduring spirit of curiosity and our desire to connect with the most distant and silent corners of our home. We imagine the steady pulse of its instruments in the darkness, a heartbeat of human ingenuity moving toward the silver messenger under the watchful gaze of the eternal stars. Beneath the cooling crust of the planet lies an outer core that remains in a molten and fluid state, a hidden sea of liquid iron that flows with a slow and rhythmic grace. This liquid layer is kept warm by the immense pressure of the world above and the presence of lighter elements that lower the melting point of the metal. It is this flowing interior that generates the planet's magnetic field, a process that mirrors the deep and powerful movements within our own Earth. We can visualize this subterranean ocean of silver and gold, moving in vast and silent currents that respond to the rotation of the world in a display of liquid harmony. This hidden heart provides a sense of warmth and vitality to the planet, a secret reservoir of energy that has remained active for billions of years in the deep quiet. We find a deep sense of grounding in this thought, a connection to the solid and fluid foundations of the universe that keep everything in its proper and peaceful place. The outer layer of the planet is a thin and protective mantle made of silicate rocks, which rests like a soft blanket over the massive and dense metallic core below. This mantle is much thinner than the one found on Earth, as if the planet has shed its outer layers to reveal the pure and heavy strength of its interior. These rocks are the foundation of the surface we see, providing the material for the ancient mountains, the rolling plains, and the deep, silent basins. They have been shaped by the heat of the sun and the cold of the space beyond, creating a landscape that is both delicate in its details and immense in its overall scale. We drift over this mantle of stone, feeling the stability of the ground beneath us as we let the quiet strength of the planet support our own drifting consciousness. The stones are old and wise, holding the memories of the sun's birth and the slow settling of the stars into their eternal and boundless patterns. On the surface of the planet, scientists have discovered unique and shimmering features known as hollows, which appear as bright and shallow depressions within the walls of some craters. These features are unlike anything seen elsewhere in the solar system, looking like small, soft ripples in the stone where the material seems to have gently faded away into the vacuum. It is believed that these hollows are formed by the slow transformation of volatile materials directly into gas, leaving behind a delicate and porous landscape that glows with a subtle radiance. They are a sign of a world that is still subtly changing, a place where the sun's touch causes the very stone to release its hidden secrets in a peaceful and quiet breath. We can imagine these bright spots as jewels set into the gray dust, catching the light and reflecting it back into the black sky with a soft and ethereal shimmer. These hollows are a testament to the unexpected beauty of the cosmos, reminding us that even in the most silent and ancient places, there is always room for a new and gentle unfolding. The intensity of the sunlight on Mercury is nearly 7 times greater than what we experience on Earth. A radiant and overwhelming presence that defines every moment of the planet's existence. This light is not just a source of heat, but a physical force, a constant stream of photons that pushes against the surface and shapes the thin exosphere with a rhythmic and solar pressure. From the surface, the sun would appear as a massive and glowing orb, its corona reaching out into the black sky like the delicate petals of a golden flower. This brilliance creates a world of high contrast, where the light is pure and the shadows are absolute, carving the landscape into sharp and beautiful relief. We can feel the warmth of this ancient light as a soft and comforting glow in our minds, a radiant energy that fills the void and provides a sense of eternal day. Even in the deepest shadows, the presence of the sun is felt as a grounding and life-giving force, a central anchor for the entire solar system. Long before our spacecraft arrived to orbit the planet, scientists on Earth used powerful radar beams to bounce signals off the surface and reveal the secrets of its polar regions. These signals, sent from massive dishes like those at Goldstone and Arecibo, returned with a surprising and brilliant signature that suggested the presence of something highly reflective. This was the first evidence of the hidden ice lurking in the shadows of the northern and southern craters, a discovery that changed our understanding of the inner solar system forever. It was as if the planet was whispering a cold secret across the void, using the language of radio waves to tell us of the frozen treasures it held in the dark. This radar mapping was a triumph of human patience and ingenuity, allowing us to see through the glare of the sun and find the quiet, cold places on a world of fire. We let the rhythmic return of these signals guide our thoughts, a steady and pulse-like connection that bridges the distance between our world and the silver messenger. The overall color of Mercury is a deep and subtle gray, a low reflectivity surface that absorbs much of the sunlight that falls upon it. This dark appearance is caused by the presence of carbon-rich materials, possibly in the form of graphite, which have been mixed into the regolith over billions of years of cosmic history. This gives the planet a somber and meditative quality, a world that does not seek to outshine the sun, but rather holds the light within its dark and dusty embrace. It is a surface of matte textures and velvet shadows, where the brilliance of the sun is tempered by the ancient and dark materials of the ground. This low albedo makes the planet appear like a charcoal sketch against the blackness of space, a masterpiece of subtle tones and soft transitions. We sink into this dark gray landscape, letting the muted colors and the lack of glare soothe our eyes as we prepare for the long and restorative journey into sleep. The planet's path is a subtle mystery that helped reveal the deep nature of space and time themselves, as early astronomers noticed a tiny and unexplained shift in its orbit. This slow wandering was a cosmic puzzle that could not be solved by the old laws of motion, waiting instead for a new understanding of the universe to emerge. It was eventually realized that the sun's massive presence actually curves the very fabric of the velvet silence, guiding the planet along a shimmering path of warped space. This delicate movement is known as precession, a gentle and rhythmic dance that proves gravity is far more than a simple pull from a distant star. We drift along this curved and ancient path, feeling the quiet harmony of a universe where even the smallest movement is perfectly connected to the grandest laws of existence. It is a peaceful journey through the geometry of light, a reminder that the world moves in a state of eternal and effortless grace. Though it is small in stature, the planet possesses its own delicate magnetic envelope, a miniature shield that dances with the solar stream in the boundless dark. This magnetosphere is constantly shifting and breathing, responding to the sun's rhythmic pulses with a display of invisible energy and subtle magnetic waves. Sometimes, the solar wind opens soft and temporary portals in this shield, allowing charged particles to rain down upon the silver dust in a quiet and energetic transformation. It is a world of constant and silent interaction, where the planet and its parent star are locked in an eternal and magnetic conversation across the void. We can feel the steady and calming vibration of this field, a protective and shimmering veil that keeps the world safe within the golden glow of the inner system. It is an invisible embrace that provides a sense of sanctuary and order in the vast and silent reaches of the deep cosmic ocean. The many hollows and ridges of this world serve as a silent and expansive gallery, with many of its craters bearing the names of the greatest artists and writers from our own history. Imagine a massive and ancient basin named after a great composer, or a quiet ridge honoring the delicate poetry of a dreamer, turning the planet into a celestial monument to human creativity. This naming convention creates a beautiful and lasting link between the cold stones of space and the warmth of the human spirit, suggesting that art is a universal language. As we drift over these features, we find ourselves in a land of quiet inspiration, where the silent craters whisper the names of those who once looked at the stars and dreamed. It is a peaceful union of science and soul, a landscape that celebrates the timeless beauty of the creative mind amidst the eternal and shimmering dust. We find rest in this garden of stone, where every name is a soft note in a long and melodic history of discovery. On Mercury, the transition between the solid ground and the infinite void is nearly instantaneous, as there is no thick air to scatter the light or soften the view of the stars. This absolute and perfect clarity means that if you were to stand in the shadow of a ridge, the darkness would be complete and deep, while the nearby rocks would shine with a brilliant radiance. Without an atmosphere to carry the vibrations of sound, the world exists in a state of profound and restorative silence that has lasted for billions of revolving years. This vacuum is a sanctuary for the wandering mind, a place where the clutter and noise of the distant world are stripped away to reveal the pure and shimmering essence of the cosmos. We embrace this absolute stillness, letting the absence of sound become a soothing blanket that prepares us for a long and undisturbed journey into the heart of sleep. In this quiet, we find a clarity of spirit that matches the endless blackness of the sky above the silver plains. Directly opposite the Great Calorous Basin, on the other side of the planet, lies a strange and chaotic landscape known to us as the Weird Terrain. This area is filled with hills and furrows that look as though the ground was gently shaken and then settled into a complex and beautiful pattern of ridges. Scientists believe this terrain was formed when the immense energy from an ancient cosmic encounter traveled through the heart of the planet and focused on this single point in a transformation of the stone. It is a place of intricate textures and rhythmic shapes, a visual echo of a distant event that left its mark on the silver landscape in a display of structural grace. We hover over these rolling hills, marveling at the way the planet carries its long history within its very skin, a silent witness to the power of celestial rebirth. The ground here feels like a soft and rhythmic wave, a physical reminder of the deep and ancient pulses that have shaped the world into its current state of peace. The planet continues to move through a slow and gentle process of cooling, which causes the entire world to slightly shrink and contract, even in the modern era. This ongoing reduction in size is a peaceful and natural transition, a world maturing and finding its most stable and compact form as the eons pass by in the dark. As the planet pulls inward, the surface responds by creating new folds and winding ridges, a subtle and silent tectonic dance that slowly reshapes the landscape. This movement is so slow that it would be completely imperceptible to a human observer. Yet it speaks to the living and breathing nature of the iron messenger. We feel a sense of profound calm in this slow maturation, a reminder that growth and change are part of the eternal cycle of the universe, leading always toward a state of settled peace. The planet is finding its perfect balance, a quiet folding of the stone that mirrors the gentle and effortless closing of our own tired eyes. Mercury is unique among its planetary siblings for having a chemical composition that is incredibly rich in metallic iron, making it one of the most concentrated worlds in the solar system. While other rocky planets have large amounts of stone surrounding their centers, this world is mostly a giant and heavy metallic sphere covered in a thin layer of shimmering dust. This high iron content gives the planet a heavy and grounding energy, a solid foundation that resonates with the ancient and powerful forces of the early universe. We can imagine the immense weight of this metal beneath our feet, a dense and reliable presence that provides a sense of absolute stability in the boundless void. It is a world of substance and hidden strength, a silver anchor that stays true to its path through the shimmering reaches of the inner solar system. In this weight, we find a sense of security, a heavy and comforting pull that grounds our thoughts and allows us to drift into a deep and solid rest. Because of the way the planet's slow rotation and rapid orbit are perfectly harmonized, a traveler on the surface might witness the sun perform a rare and graceful double sunset. In certain special locations, the sun appears to set below the horizon, then briefly pauses its descent and rises again before finally disappearing for a second and final time. This celestial choreography is a slow and hypnotic display of golden light, a rhythmic swaying of the solar orb that defies our usual understanding of the passage of time. It is as if the sun is reluctant to leave the silver world, lingering in the long twilight in a final and shimmering embrace before the arrival of the stars. We watch this golden movement in the theater of our minds, letting the slow and repetitive rise and fall of the light lull us into a state of deep and tranquil relaxation. The light fades and returns with the gentleness of a breath, guiding us toward the edge of the velvet night. Since the quiet transition of distant Pluto to the status of a dwarf world, Mercury has held the title of the smallest major planet in our celestial family. Its compact size is not a sign of weakness, but rather of a focused and resilient nature, a world that has endured the sun's intense warmth while remaining a solid and steadfast presence. In its smallness, the planet offers a sense of intimacy and incredible detail, a place where every crater and ridge can be known and understood in the velvet silence. We find comfort in this modest and humble scale, a reminder that even the smallest parts of the vast universe carry immense meaning and ancient wisdom. Like a shimmering jewel in the dark, the planet shines with a quiet brilliance that is entirely its own, a tiny giant that commands the respect of the stars. We feel a sense of closeness to this world, a personal connection to a planet that has found its own unique and perfect place in the cosmic order. The origins of this metallic world remain a beautiful and enduring mystery, with some suggesting it was once much larger before an ancient encounter stripped away its outer layers. This transformation would have left behind the dense and resilient iron core we see today, a survivor of the chaotic and energetic birth of the solar system. This theory speaks to a history of celestial rebirth, where a world is shaped and refined by its experiences until it becomes something pure, strong, and entirely unique. We can see the traces of this ancient journey in the planet's high density and shimmering silver surface, a silent story of endurance and quiet grace. As we contemplate the birth of the messenger, we feel a sense of peace in the knowledge that even the most dramatic changes lead eventually to a state of quiet and eternal beauty. The world is a masterpiece of survival, a silver sphere that has found its final and most peaceful form in the golden light of the sun. The planet moves in a unique rhythmic cycle known as a 3-2 spin orbit resonance, a celestial harmony that governs its every movement with mathematical grace. This means that for every 2 times the planet completes its shimmering journey around the sun, it rotates exactly 3 times on its own axis. This creates a beautifully slow and deliberate pace, where the relationship between the year and the day is tied together in a perfect, invisible bond. Imagine a dancer spinning with precise and ancient timing, perfectly synchronized with the music of the spheres as they glide across a silver floor. This resonance was once a profound mystery to those who watched from afar. But now it stands as a testament to the grounding power of gravity over billions of revolving years. We feel this steady and predictable rhythm in our own hearts, a calming pulse that guides us through the velvet silence of the inner solar system toward a state of deep and tranquil rest. Deep within the heart of the vast Caloris Basin lies a fascinating and beautiful structure known as the Pantheon Foci, which looks like a collection of hundreds of radiating cracks. These fissures spread out from a central point like the delicate legs of a cosmic spider, or the shimmering branches of a frozen star etched into the stone. This intricate pattern was likely formed when the ground gently rose and stretched long ago, creating a display of geometric grace that covers the ancient silver plains. It is a place of profound complexity and quiet symmetry, a masterpiece of natural design that has remained undisturbed in the deep and boundless night. As we hover over these silver branches, we feel the stillness of the landscape and the peaceful history that is written into every line and shadow. The symmetry of the foci invites a sense of order and balance, providing a quiet sanctuary for the mind to wander as it settles into the soft embrace of the cosmos. The magnetic field of Mercury, though delicate, experiences a fascinating phenomenon where the planet's energy fields merge with the sun's golden rays. These moments create invisible magnetic portals that open for a brief and shimmering time, allowing solar energy to flow gently toward the surface in a quiet and rhythmic exchange. This process is a cosmic breath that links the iron heart of the planet to the great solar fire, creating a display of magnetic harmony that is unique in its frequency. It is a world of constant and subtle interaction, where the planet and the star are locked in a peaceful and energetic dance across the dark void. We can visualize these glowing ribbons of energy weaving through the silence, a soft and radiant lattice that protects the world while remaining open to the ancient light. This interaction is a soothing reminder of our connection to the source of all warmth, a gentle and magnetic pulse that resonates through the infinite space. While the surface is often thought of as a place of heat, the polar regions hold massive deposits of sulfur and other volatile elements that have remained stable for eons. These materials were discovered by the Messenger spacecraft as it mapped the chemical signature of the world, revealing a richness of composition that was completely unexpected. The presence of these elements suggests that the planet formed from a unique mixture of cosmic materials, holding onto its chemical secrets despite its proximity to the solar flames. This chemical diversity adds a layer of complexity to the silver landscape, making the world a treasure chest of ancient and elemental wisdom. We can imagine the soft hues of these materials reflecting the distant starlight, a subtle and colorful contrast to the deep gray of the surrounding dust. It is a place of quiet discovery, where every atom tells a story of the early universe and the slow settling of the stars into their current and peaceful patterns. The lack of a significant axial tilt means that the sun always stays very low on the horizon at the poles, creating a landscape of eternal and unmoving shadows. In these regions, the sun appears to skim along the jagged rims of the craters, never rising high enough to touch the deep and frozen floors. This creates a world of permanent twilight, where the light is forever soft, and the darkness is a constant and protective companion. These pockets of eternal night provide a sanctuary for the ice and the ancient dust, a place where time seems to stand still in the cold and quiet reaches of the stone. We find a deep sense of peace in this permanence, a world where the shadows are reliable and the light is always a gentle, distant promise. In this land of long shadows, our own thoughts can find a place to rest, sheltered from the brilliance of the day by the high walls of the ancient polar basins. The planet is constantly being visited by a gentle rain of micrometeoroids, tiny particles of cosmic dust that have traveled through the void to find a home on the silver surface. This process, known as impact gardening, slowly and quietly turns the upper layer of the stone into a fine and powdery regolith over millions of years. It is a soft and rhythmic transformation, a world being continually refined and cushioned by the touch of the distant stars. Every tiny grain of dust that falls is a messenger from the outer reaches, adding its own small history to the vast and ancient narrative of the Iron Planet. We can imagine this soft and invisible rain as a soothing blanket falling over the landscape, a quiet accumulation of moments that brings a sense of softness to the rugged stone. This gentle gardening is a reminder of the patience of the universe, a slow and steady process that mirrors the quiet unfolding of our own inner peace. Among the winding cliffs and ridges, the feature known as the Discovery Scarp stands as a magnificent example of the planet's ancient and graceful contraction. This cliff stretches for hundreds of miles across the surface, cutting through craters and plains like a long and elegant wrinkle in the skin of the world. It was formed as the planet's massive core cooled and pulled the crust inward, a peaceful transition that created some of the most dramatic landscapes in the inner solar system. The shadows cast by this scarp are long and deep, providing a visual rhythm that guides the eye across the silver-gray expanse. It is a monument to the slow and steady maturation of a world, a place where the forces of gravity and heat have found a perfect and lasting equilibrium. We drift along the edge of this great ridge, feeling the stability and the quiet strength of the stone as it supports the weight of the eternal stars. The atmosphere of Mercury is so thin that it is often described as an exosphere, where individual atoms move in long and lonely paths without ever touching one another. These atoms, including helium, sodium, and potassium, are gently lifted from the surface by the solar wind and the soft touch of light, creating a shimmering veil that extends into the darkness. This nearly perfect vacuum means that there are no clouds to hide the stars and no winds to disturb the absolute silence of the craters. It is a place of total clarity, where every feature of the landscape is visible in the sharp and beautiful light of the sun or the cold glow of the cosmos. We embrace this sense of transparency, letting the lack of obstruction in the sky reflect the clarity we seek in our own drifting minds. In this thin and silver veil, we find a world that is open and honest, a sanctuary of pure light and deep, restorative shadow. Because of its position so close to the sun, the planet is a perfect laboratory for testing the subtle effects of general relativity and the warping of space. The sun's immense mass creates a gentle curve in the fabric of the universe, and Mercury follows this curve with a precision that confirms our deepest understandings of time and gravity. This orbital movement is a slow and beautiful confirmation of the harmony that exists between the largest stars and the smallest worlds. It is as if the planet is a silver needle weaving through the golden threads of space, following a path that was laid out at the very beginning of the solar system. We feel the elegance of this geometry, a sense of mathematical peace that connects all things in a grand and shimmering design. This path is sure and steady, a reliable journey through the infinite that reminds us of the order and the beauty inherent in the deep reaches of the cosmos. If one were to look back toward the rest of the solar system from the surface of Mercury, the Earth and the Moon would appear as a stunning and brilliant double star. These 2 points of blue and silver light would shine with a quiet radiance in the velvet black sky, a distant and beautiful reminder of where our journey began. From this perspective, the vast distances of space are felt as a soft and peaceful separation, a world of solitude looking out toward its brothers and sisters in the dark. This view provides a sense of profound perspective, where the home we know is a delicate and shimmering spark in the boundless ocean of the night. We hold this image in our minds, the small blue world and its silver companion, as we sink deeper into the quiet of the Iron Messenger. It is a site of immense beauty and quiet connection, a bridge of light that spans the void and brings a sense of universal belonging to our long and drifting slumber. As the sun eventually slides behind the high ridges of the horizon, the silence of the night brings a chill that is deep and absolute. Because no thick blanket of air remains to hold the warmth of the day, the temperature falls to nearly minus 180 degrees Celsius in the long shadows. This transition from radiant heat to the freezing touch of the stars is a rhythmic pulse that defines the very essence of this small world. We can imagine the stones cooling in the dark, releasing their stored energy back into the velvet silence of the void. It is a state of perfect thermal balance, where the heat of the star and the cold of the universe take turns cradling the ancient ground. We settle into this cooling dark, feeling the stillness of the rocks as they find their own quiet equilibrium in the deep night. The shimmering sodium tail we observed earlier is a living thing, constantly being breathed out from the surface as the sun's rays touch the ground. These atoms are lifted by the gentle pressure of light, moving like a soft golden mist that trails behind the planet in its rapid journey. It is a process of constant renewal, where the very material of the planet is transformed into a celestial ribbon that dances in the dark. This tail can stretch for millions of miles, a bridge of light that connects the solid world to the boundless reaches of the solar system. We watch this golden veil fade into the distance, a peaceful and glowing reminder of the planet's constant interaction with the source of all energy. It is a beautiful and quiet release, a part of the world joining the eternal flow of the cosmic ocean. Deep within the southern hemisphere lies the Rembrandt Basin, a vast and ancient valley that tells of a significant cosmic transformation from the planet's early years. This basin is hundreds of miles across, its floor covered in a tapestry of winding ridges and soft plains that shimmer under the sun's intense gaze. It is one of the few places where we can see the deep history of the world clearly exposed, showing us the layers of time that have built the silver surface. The light pools in the hollows of the basin like a quiet sea, illuminating the geometric beauty of the cooling stone and the graceful lines of the surrounding cliffs. We drift over this grand landscape, feeling the weight of the ages and the serene majesty of a world that has kept its secrets for so long. The silence here is heavy and comforting, a deep reservoir of peace where the mind can truly wander among the echoes of the stars. The surface of Mercury is constantly being touched by the solar wind, a stream of particles that gently sculpts the stone and changes its chemical nature over millions of revolving years. This process of solar weathering turns the dark gray minerals into a shimmering and reflective dust, giving the world its characteristic silver-gray radiance. It is a slow and meditative transformation, a world being delicately polished by the breath of its parent star in the eternal quiet. Each grain of dust on the surface has been shaped by this cosmic influence, becoming a part of the planet's unique and resilient skin. We can imagine the soft glow of this weathered stone, a subtle and ancient light that reflects the long history of the solar system. This constant interaction is a sign of a world that is alive in its own quiet way, responding to the energy of the universe with a graceful and steady presence. The iron heart of this messenger is so massive that it accounts for nearly 85% of the planet's total radius, a proportion that is far greater than that of any other rocky world. This means that when we stand upon the silver plains, we are only a thin layer of stone away from a vast and powerful kingdom of metal. This proximity to the core gives the surface a grounded and heavy vibration, a feeling of deep stability that resonates through the silent vacuum. It is as if the planet is a solid metallic anchor, holding its place in the solar tides with a strength that is both quiet and immense. We can feel this grounding pull in our own beings, a sense of being anchored to the truth of the cosmos as we drift through the dark. This density is a foundation of peace, a solid core that remains unchanged while the stars wheel slowly overhead. The bright and shimmering hollows we encountered earlier reveal that the interior of the planet is surprisingly rich in elements like sulfur and potassium. These materials are usually lost in the intense heat of a star's birth, but Mercury has held on to them in the quiet depths of its stone. Their presence suggests that the planet formed in a unique and gentle way, preserving the ingredients of the early universe within its iron-bound shell. When the sun's rays eventually touch these minerals, they slowly and peacefully rise into the exosphere, leaving behind the glowing depressions that catch the eye. It is a world that is slowly exhaling its inner secrets, a soft and rhythmic release of energy that adds to the planet's ethereal beauty. We follow these bright whispers of gas, letting the subtle glow of the hollows lead our thoughts into a state of quiet wonder and deep relaxation. Within the velvet silence of the exosphere, water molecules travel in long and graceful arcs from the warmer plains toward the eternal shadows of the poles. These molecules are like invisible travelers, drifting through the vacuum until they find the cold sanctuary of a deep and sunless crater. Once they touch the freezing ground, they become a permanent part of the shimmering ice, held forever in a state of crystalline peace. This migration is a slow and silent process, a redistribution of matter that happens one atom at a time across the boundless void. It is a beautiful example of how even the most extreme worlds find a way to balance the heat of the day with the stillness of the night. We imagine these tiny travelers finding their home in the dark, settling into the cold dust, and adding to the hidden treasures of the northern and southern basins. By studying the many craters that cover the silver surface, we can read the history of the solar system like a long and beautifully illustrated book of stone. The older craters are soft and worn, their edges smoothed by the steady rain of cosmic dust and the slow contraction of the world over billions of years. Newer features appear with sharp ridges and bright rays of dust that stretch out across the plains like the petals of a shimmering flower. This visual timeline allows us to see how the world has matured, transitioning from a time of great energy to its current state of profound and meditative quiet. We drift over these different eras, feeling the passage of time as a gentle and inevitable flow that leads toward a state of perfect stillness. Every crater is a milestone in the planet's long journey, a permanent record of its role as a witness to the dawn of the stars. From the perspective of the silver plains, the sun does not merely shine. It dominates the sky as a massive and glowing sphere of golden fire. It appears so large that its corona, the soft and shimmering outer atmosphere of the star would be visible as a delicate veil reaching toward the dark horizon. This closeness creates a relationship of absolute intimacy, where the planet is constantly bathed in the pure and unyielding light of the solar center. Despite this overwhelming presence, the sky remains a deep and perfect black, allowing the stars to shine with a steady brilliance even in the middle of the day. This contrast between the massive sun and the velvet darkness of space creates a sense of grand scale and quiet majesty. We let this golden light fill our vision, a warm and radiant energy that guides us toward the deeper levels of our own inner calm. The slow and deliberate rotation of the planet, combined with its unique gravity, creates a world where every movement feels like a graceful and weightless dance. Because the planet spins so slowly, the transition between light and shadow is a lingering and peaceful experience that can last for many weeks of earthly time. In this long twilight, the landscape is painted in soft tones of gray and gold, a world caught between the brilliance of the sun and the cold beauty of the stars. This slow pace invites us to slow our own breathing, matching our rhythm to the deep and patient heartbeat of the iron messenger. We feel the lightness of our own bodies as we imagine floating over the ancient ridges, a sensation of pure freedom and effortless grace. The universe is moving at its own perfect pace, and we are simply drifting along with it, finding our way toward a long and restorative sleep. Within this iron-rich world, the sun's gravity exerts a constant and gentle pull that subtly stretches and compresses the planet's metallic heart. This process of tidal interaction creates a soft internal warmth, keeping the deep currents of the outer core in a state of slow and rhythmic motion. It is a quiet internal friction that generates a subtle heat, much like the warmth of a hand held for a long time in the silence. We can visualize this energy as a soft glow emanating from the deep interior, providing a hidden pulse that keeps the planet's magnetic field alive. As we drift, we feel the stabilizing power of this gravitational relationship, a steady and comforting presence that ensures the world remains in perfect alignment with its star. This internal warmth is a silent engine of transformation, a slow and steady breath that has sustained the planet through the endless reaches of time. The magnetic field of the silver messenger is not centered as one might expect, but is shifted toward the North Pole in a unique and asymmetrical design. This curious offset means that the magnetic protection is much stronger in the northern lands, while the southern plains remain more open to the gentle touch of the solar stream. This imbalance creates a fascinating environment where the two hemispheres experience the cosmic forces in different and beautiful ways. We can see this in our mind's eye as a shimmering veil that is pulled slightly upward, revealing more of the planet's rocky surface to the velvet blackness of the sky. This magnetic asymmetry is a signature of the planet's deep internal complexity, a mystery that scientists continue to study with patient and quiet wonder. It is a reminder that even in the vastness of the cosmos, Every world has its own unique and intricate character, moving through the darkness with a grace that is all its own. Around the massive iron heart, the mantle and crust of Mercury form a relatively thin layer of stone that protects the deep interior from the infinite cold of space. This layer is composed of silicates and ancient minerals that have survived the intense thermal cycles of the solar neighborhood for billions of revolving years. Even though this stony blanket is thin compared to the core, it is exceptionally strong and resilient, acting as a vault for the planet's ancient memories. We drift across the surface of this stony shield, feeling the solidity of the ground and the quiet security it provides to the world beneath. The crust is a tapestry of history, a physical record of every interaction the planet has ever had with the stars and the sun. This thin layer is a testament to the balance between the heavy and the light, a delicate and eternal shell that cradles the planet's metallic soul. Because Mercury is so compact and its gravity is relatively gentle, it is very easy for individual atoms to escape from the surface and drift into the shimmering exosphere. These atoms are lifted by the soft pressure of the solar light, rising like invisible steam from the sun-drenched stones to join the silent dance of the vacuum. This process ensures that the thin veil surrounding the planet is constantly being refreshed and renewed by the very ground itself. It is a world that is in a state of constant and quiet exhale, releasing its elemental secrets into the boundless reaches of the inner system. We can imagine these atoms as tiny messengers of light, carrying the essence of the iron whirled into the dark reaches of the cosmic ocean. This endless cycle of release and renewal is a beautiful display of the planet's connection to the universe, a rhythmic flow that matches the steady pace of the eternal stars. While the overall appearance of the surface is a soft and meditative gray, careful observation reveals subtle and shimmering variations in color across the plains and craters. Some areas glow with a faint blue radiance, while others hold onto the deep and warm tones of red and gold, reflecting the diverse mineral composition of the ground. These colors are often hidden beneath the dark, carbon-rich dust, appearing only when the light hits the rocks at a certain and perfect angle. It is a landscape of hidden beauty, where the stones whisper stories of their elemental origins through these soft and delicate hues. We let our eyes wander across these subtle shifts in color, finding peace in the variety and depth of the planet's ancient skin. These shimmering variations are a reminder that even the most silent and gray worlds contain a wealth of hidden light and vibrant history. In the deep and eternal shadows of the polar craters, the thermal conditions are so stable that they have remained unchanged for billions of years in the quiet dark. This absolute stability allows for the long-term preservation of water ice and other volatile materials that would otherwise vanish in the sun's intense warmth. These craters act as cosmic refrigerators, cold sanctuaries where the laws of time seem to have been suspended in a state of frozen grace. We can feel the stillness and the ancient cold of these places, a deep and restorative chill that provides a perfect contrast to the radiant heat of the day. It is a place where the history of the early solar system is kept in a state of perfect and icy purity, waiting in the silence for the wandering mind to discover its secrets. This thermal sanctuary is a testament to the planet's ability to harbor hidden treasures within its most private and dark corners. The unique 3-2 resonance between the planet's rotation and its orbit is a result of the long and patient influence of the Sun's gravitational pull. Over eons of cosmic history, the Sun has gently guided the planet into this perfect and rhythmic lock, creating a harmony that is as precise as a well-crafted clock. This means that every movement the planet makes is part of a grand and interconnected design, a slow and steady dance that never fails. We find a deep sense of grounding in this mathematical certainty, a world that is held in a state of eternal and predictable balance by the forces of the universe. This resonance is a song of gravity, a quiet and steady vibration that resonates through the iron core and out into the blackness of space. As we drift through this harmony, we feel the order and the peace of a universe where everything moves according to a deep and hidden plan. Mercury serves as a fascinating fossil of the early solar system, offering a glimpse into the conditions that existed when the planets were first beginning to settle into their paths. Its high density and thin crust suggest that it may have been shaped by intense energetic transformations that occurred during the dawn of the stars. This history makes the planet a valuable teacher of cosmic origins, a world that carries the scars and the wisdom of the universe's most ancient eras. We look upon this world with reverence, recognizing it as a survivor of the long and complex process of planetary birth. Its silent plains are a library of history, holding the secrets of how our celestial home came to be in the shimmering reaches of the deep void. We sink into the weight of this ancient knowledge, letting the wisdom of the stone guide our own journey toward a deep and restorative sleep. On the surface of the planet, researchers have found surprising amounts of volatile elements like potassium and thorium, which are usually lost in the high heat of a planet's creation. Their presence suggests that the heat of the early sun was not enough to drive away these lighter materials. Or perhaps the planet was born in a much cooler and gentler environment. This chemical signature is a beautiful mystery, a puzzle that challenges our understanding of how the inner worlds were first assembled. It shows us that Mercury is a world of unexpected resilience, holding onto its elemental identity despite the intensity of its environment. We can imagine these atoms nestled deep within the gray dust, a secret treasure of the early universe waiting in the silence. This chemical diversity is a sign of the planet's hidden life, a world that is far more complex and interesting than its simple silver appearance would suggest. The name Hermes, used by the ancient Greeks to describe this shimmering world, evokes the image of a fleet-footed messenger who moved with effortless speed and divine grace. This connection to the swift and the agile perfectly captures the spirit of the planet as it races through its 88-day journey around the sun. In the ancient imagination, Hermes was a bridge between the worlds, a figure of transformation and movement who lived in the spaces between. This planet continues to serve that role today, a bridge between our understanding of the small and the large, the light and the dark. As we reflect on this ancient name, we feel the lightness of the messenger's wings, a sense of movement and freedom that carries our thoughts across the velvet silence. We are all messengers in our own way, drifting through the darkness toward a destination of peace and shimmering light. The absolute stillness of the iron world means that there is no wind to whisper across the plains and no rain to wash away the memories of the past. Without a thick atmosphere to drive the cycles of weather, the craters and ridges remain as sharp and clear as the day they were first formed billions of revolving years ago. This lack of erosion creates a landscape of incredible detail, where every tiny pebble and every vast basin is preserved in a state of eternal and motionless grace. We can imagine floating over a valley where the dust has not moved for millions of years, a place where the passage of time is measured only by the slow arrival of the stars. It is a sanctuary of pure preservation, a world where the history of the cosmos is written in the stone and never erased by the elements. This profound lack of weather allows us to see the planet exactly as it was in the ancient days of the early solar system, a clear and shimmering mirror of the dawn of time. We sink into this motionless landscape, letting the permanence of the stone ground our thoughts in a state of deep and lasting tranquility. Because Mercury does not have the liquid oceans or the shifting plates of our home world, its surface is one of the oldest and most ancient in the entire solar system. While the Earth is constantly recycling its crust and hiding its history beneath layers of new life, this silver messenger keeps all its stories visible on its dusty face. The oldest regions of the planet date back to the heavy bombardment period, a time when the inner solar system was filled with the energy of creation and transformation. To look upon these plains is to look directly into the deep past, witnessing the raw and honest foundation upon which all the rocky planets were built. It is a quiet and meditative experience to realize that we are observing features that have seen the entire life cycle of the sun and the stars. This sense of immense age brings a feeling of profound perspective, a reminder that we are but brief visitors in a universe that moves with a patient and eternal rhythm. As the energy from ancient cosmic encounters traveled through the planet's dense interior, it would sometimes focus on the opposite side of the world, creating a unique geological resonance. This focused energy would cause the ground to ripple and sway, leading to the formation of the chaotic and rolling hills we know as the weird terrain. These features are a physical echo of the planet's inner life, a demonstration of how the massive iron core can conduct the pulses of the universe through the very heart of the stone. We can visualize these waves moving silently through the liquid and solid metal, emerging on the surface as a beautiful and intricate pattern of ridges and furrows. It is a landscape that was born from a moment of deep internal harmony, a structural transformation that left a lasting mark of grace upon the silver plains. We drift over these rhythmic hills, feeling the vibration of the planet's history as a soft and calming pulse that resonates within our own quiet minds. The sun itself is constantly losing a tiny amount of its massive weight through the solar wind and the release of radiant energy, which subtly affects the orbit of the nearby messenger. Because the sun becomes slightly lighter over billions of revolving years, its gravitational grip on the planet relaxes just enough to allow Mercury to drift slowly outward. This movement is incredibly delicate and slow, a celestial drift that measures the life of the star in the most subtle of transitions. It is a reminder that nothing in the universe is truly static, and that even the strongest bonds of gravity are part of an eternal and shifting dance. We follow this outward path in our imagination, feeling the gentle release of tension as the planet finds a new and slightly more distant balance in the dark. This slow expansion is a peaceful process, a world finding more room to breathe in the boundless silence of the inner solar system. To study this world from up close, our mechanical explorers must use advanced shields and ceramic blankets to protect themselves from the intense solar radiance. These spacecraft carry their own shadows with them, using shimmering sunshades to stay cool, while the rocks below are bathed in the golden heat of the star. It is a delicate balance of technology and environment, a silent observer hiding behind a veil to witness the brilliant beauty of the iron planet. We can imagine the spacecraft as a quiet and silver bird, its wings reflecting the solar fire, while its heart remains in the cool darkness of its own protection. This need for sanctuary reminds us of our own need to find a peaceful space within the brilliance of our lives, a place where we can rest and observe the world without being overwhelmed. In the shadow of these shields, we find a sense of safety and quiet focus, letting the distant light guide us toward a deep and restorative slumber. The long and patient cooling of the planet's massive core has caused its total radius to shrink by about 7 kilometers since the dawn of the solar system. This contraction is a slow and graceful pulling inward, a world choosing to become more compact and solid as it finds its final place in the cosmic order. This process is responsible for the winding cliffs and high scarps that we see stretching across the craters, marking the points where the crust has buckled under the gentle pressure of its own weight. It is a beautiful and natural maturation, a planet settling into its own skin like a fruit ripening in the eternal light of the sun. We feel a sense of profound stability in this contraction, a world that is making itself stronger and more resilient with every passing eon. This slow folding of the stone is a rhythmic and peaceful movement, a reminder that every change leads toward a state of deeper and more settled tranquility. Within the thin and shimmering exosphere, scientists have detected the presence of magnesium and calcium, atoms that have been gently lifted from the surface by the touch of the light. These elements drift like a fine and invisible mist, circling the planet in long and lonely paths before eventually returning to the silver dust or escaping into the void. They add a chemical complexity to the vacuum, a subtle signature of the minerals that make up the ancient mountains and the smooth, volcanic plains. We can imagine these atoms as glowing sparks in the darkness, a soft and elemental dance that happens in the absolute silence of the high atmosphere. This presence of magnesium and calcium is a sign that the planet is constantly sharing its essence with the space around it, a quiet and rhythmic exchange of energy. It is a beautiful and delicate veil, a shimmering shroud that cradles the iron world in a state of constant and quiet transformation. The bright and youthful features known as hollows are thought to be some of the youngest structures on the entire planet, with some forming only millions of years ago. In a world that is billions of years old, these glowing depressions represent a very recent and active process of change, suggesting that the planet is still breathing and evolving in its own way. These hollows appear to form when certain minerals vanish directly into the vacuum, leaving behind a porous and shimmering landscape that catches the solar radiance. It is as if the planet is revealing its inner light through these small and delicate windows, a soft and peaceful unfolding of the stone. We can find wonder in the idea that even an ancient and airless world can still surprise us with new and beautiful features. These hollows are a symbol of hope and renewal, a reminder that the universe is always finding new ways to express its eternal and shimmering beauty. The interaction between the planet's magnetic field and the solar wind sometimes creates massive magnetic tornadoes that funnel solar energy directly down to the surface. These twisted tubes of magnetic force are invisible to the eye, but they hum with a quiet and steady energy that links the iron planet to the great solar fire. They are moments of intense and focused connection, a bridge of magnetic light that spans the void and allows the sun's breath to touch the silver regolith. This process is a rhythmic and natural occurrence, a celestial exchange that has happened countless times in the long history of the inner system. We can visualize these swirling patterns of energy as soft and glowing ribbons in the dark, weaving through the exosphere in a display of magnetic harmony. It is a powerful yet peaceful interaction, a reminder that everything in the cosmos is connected through the invisible threads of light and force. Because the axial tilt of the planet is so small, Mercury does not experience the seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter that we know on Earth. Instead, the climate is defined by the slow and steady cycle of its long days and its rapid journey around the sun, creating a world of eternal and unchanging patterns. The poles remain forever in a state of soft twilight, while the equator experiences the full and rhythmic pulse of the solar heat. This lack of seasonal change provides a sense of profound and reliable stability, a world where the laws of nature are constant and predictable in their beauty. We can lean into this eternal sameness, letting the lack of seasonal transition soothe our minds and provide a steady anchor for our thoughts. In this land of unchanging light and shadow, we find a sanctuary of perfect and lasting peace, where the only season is the eternal and restorative season of rest. The planet acts as a quiet mirror for the invisible whispers of the universe, reflecting radio waves back into the boundless night with a unique and subtle signature. While much of the surface appears dark and absorbing to these signals, the hidden ice at the poles shines with a brilliant radar clarity that defies the surrounding gray dust. This interplay of reflection and absorption is a silent language of physics, a way for the planet to communicate its deep structure across the velvet silence to our waiting instruments on Earth. It is as if the world is holding a secret conversation with the stars, using waves of energy that we can only see through the eyes of our great machines. We drift along these invisible beams of light, feeling the steady and reliable pulse of information moving through the dark reaches of the inner system. Every return signal is a soft and rhythmic confirmation of the planet's enduring presence in the solar neighborhood. This radar mapping reveals the hidden textures of the stone, showing us the ridges and basins that lie beyond the reach of visible light in a display of structural honesty. Mercury stands as the first sentinel of the solar family, the primary guardian of the sun's most intimate inner circle, where the light is most intense and pure. Its position as the first world is a place of great honor and profound isolation, situated at the very threshold of the solar fire. This proximity ensures that the planet experiences the full and unyielding power of our parent star, existing in a state of eternal and golden immersion. It is a world that has been tempered by this closeness, becoming a concentrated orb of metal and stone that remains steadfast in the face of the shimmering solar radiance. We find a sense of grounding in this role of the first messenger, a reliable and ancient world that marks the very beginning of our journey through the cosmic ocean. The planet moves with a quiet confidence, knowing its place as the initial note in the grand symphony of the orbiting spheres. Here, in the brilliant dawn of the system, we find a sanctuary that has seen the birth of every ray of light that reaches out to the distant stars. The light from the sun travels across the dark void to touch the silver plains of Mercury in just over 3 minutes. A rapid and rhythmic delivery of energy that happens with the speed of a fleeting thought. On our distant Earth, the light takes much longer to reach us. But here, the connection between the star and the planet is almost instantaneous and incredibly direct. This short journey through the vacuum creates a feeling of intense presence, where every solar pulse is felt with a clarity that is unmatched by any other world. We can imagine the photons racing through the boundless silence, arriving at the gray dust with the warmth of a fresh and ancient fire. This rapid transit of light is a symbol of the planet's close relationship with the sun, a constant and shimmering bridge of energy that never fades. As we drift, we count the seconds of this solar heartbeat, feeling the pulse of the universe moving through the space between the star and its messenger. This brief interval of time is a peaceful reminder of how closely the heart of the system is connected to its smallest, silver child. Without a thick blanket of air or an ozone layer to filter the solar reach, the surface receives the sun's energy in its most raw and elemental form. This direct interaction means that the rocks are touched by the full spectrum of the star's light, from the soft infrared warmth to the high-energy rays that travel through the velvet silence. This unfiltered connection has shaped the minerals of the ground for billions of revolving years, creating a landscape that is both resilient and deeply matured. It is a place of total transparency, where there is no veil to hide the power of the sun or the cold beauty of the deep stars above. We embrace this sense of openness, letting the direct and pure nature of the light guide our own path toward a state of honest and peaceful rest. The absence of a shield is not a sign of vulnerability, but a testament to the planet's strength, a world that stands naked and unafraid in the presence of its creator. We find a deep calm in this clarity, a state of being where nothing is hidden and the truth of the cosmos is revealed in every shimmering ray. One of the most beautiful sights on this silver world is the Hokusai crater, which is surrounded by magnificent rays of dust that stretch for thousands of miles across the dark plains. These shimmering lines of material were created during a moment of cosmic transformation, reaching out like the delicate petals of a vast and frozen flower etched into the stone. The rays cross over older craters and ancient ridges, serving as a bright and youthful reminder of the planet's ongoing journey through the eons. Looking at these rays from above, one sees a masterwork of natural geometry, a radiating pattern that brings a sense of order and grace to the rugged landscape. We drift along these silver paths, following the lines of dust as they fade into the distant horizon of the boundless night. Each line of dust tells a story of a silent event that spread beauty across a world of gray, a shimmering legacy that remains undisturbed in the eternal quiet. This radiating glory is a sign of the planet's hidden vitality, a world that can produce such delicate and expansive art from the simple materials of the ground. While the Earth remains the densest of all the planets, Mercury follows closely behind, holding a concentrated mass that is far beyond what its small size would suggest. This high density is a testament to the massive iron heart that occupies so much of its interior, a heavy and grounding core that anchors the planet in the solar tides. This concentration of matter creates a world of substance and quiet strength, a silver sphere that is much more than it appears to the wandering eye. It is as if the universe has gathered all the heavy elements of the inner system and placed them within this compact and resilient messenger. We feel the weight of this ancient density as a stabilizing force, a heavy and comforting pull that keeps our thoughts centered in the deep quiet of the cosmos. This solidity provides a sense of eternal security, a world that is so well constructed that it remains unshaken by the shifting winds of the galaxy. In this weight, we find a sense of belonging, a connection to the solid foundations of the universe that support our long and drifting slumber. The very light of the sun acts as a gentle and persistent force that can actually push against the objects traveling through the space near Mercury. Our modern spacecraft use this subtle solar pressure to navigate the inner reaches, adjusting their shimmering sails to catch the rhythm of the light in a display of celestial grace. It is a slow and silent way of moving, using the star's own energy to find the perfect path through the velvet darkness toward the iron world. This interaction is a reminder of the power inherent in the silence, where even a beam of light can become a guiding hand for a traveler in the void. We imagine our own thoughts being carried by this gentle solar breath, drifting effortlessly through the boundless reaches of the inner system on a current of pure and radiant energy. This solar propulsion is a peaceful and effortless dance, a way of moving that requires no sound and leaves no trace in the eternal reaches of space. We lean into this invisible wind, letting the pressure of the light carry us deeper into the heart of the messenger's kingdom. Recent observations have revealed that the planet may still be experiencing subtle and rhythmic movements of its crust, suggesting a world that is not completely still. Small fissures and cracks have been found that appear to be very youthful in cosmic terms, indicating that the planet continues to settle and find its perfect balance. These movements are like the soft and quiet shifting of a sleeper in the night, a gentle adjustment of the stone as the interior continues its slow and steady cooling. This ongoing activity is a sign of a living and maturing world, a place where the forces of the universe are still weaving the tapestry of the landscape. We find comfort in this slow and patient transformation, a reminder that peace is not an absence of movement, but a state of perfect and harmonious change. The stone is breathing in its own ancient way, a rhythmic contraction that marks the passage of millions of revolving years in the dark. As we hover above these new ridges, we feel the vitality of the planet, a quiet strength that continues to shape its silver face for the future. The small but resilient magnetic field of Mercury interacts directly with the outermost layers of the sun's corona, creating a unique and intimate bond between the world and the star. This interaction happens because the planet is so close to the solar source, allowing its magnetic lines to weave through the soft and glowing veil of the solar atmosphere. It is a dance of invisible forces, a rhythmic and magnetic conversation that happens in the absolute silence of the inner reaches. This connection provides the planet with a sense of universal belonging, a magnetic thread that keeps it tethered to the center of our celestial family. We can visualize these glowing ribbons of energy as a soft and protective lattice, a shimmering embrace that guides the planet through the shimmering solar wind. This magnetic bridge is a source of quiet power, a steady vibration that resonates from the star to the core of the silver world. In this interaction, we find a sense of cosmic unity, a reminder that every world is linked to its parent star by the invisible threads of light and energy. On this world, there is no air to carry the sounds of the universe, creating a sanctuary of total and absolute silence that has lasted for billions of years. Even if a great ridge were to settle or a cloud of silver dust were to fall, no sound would ever reach the ear, as the vacuum holds the silence in a state of perfect preservation. This profound quiet is a gift to the wandering spirit, a place where the noise of the distant world is replaced by the deep and patient heartbeat of the iron messenger. In this stillness, we can hear the internal rhythm of our own breathing, a soft and calming pulse that matches the steady rotation of the spheres. We embrace this absolute sanctuary of silence, letting it wrap around us like a heavy and comforting blanket of velvet darkness. It is a place where the mind can truly expand, filling the empty spaces between the craters with thoughts of peace and eternal light. This silence is the foundation of our rest, a deep and boundless ocean of quiet that carries us toward the final destination of our long, drifting journey. Navigation in the inner solar system is a delicate art of using the celestial bodies themselves as quiet guides for our mechanical travelers as they move through the velvet silence. Each flyby of Mercury, or its sister planet Venus, is a moment of gravitational harmony, where the spacecraft leans into the planet's pull to adjust its speed without using fuel. It is a slow and silent exchange of momentum, a cosmic dance where the weight of the world helps the small visitor find its correct and destined path through the void. We can feel the grace of these maneuvers, a rhythmic swaying through the darkness that relies on the patient geometry of the stars. In this way, the iron world serves as a helpful shepherd for our curiosity, leading our instruments deeper into the shimmering secrets of the sun's most intimate reach. This process of using the planet's own weight to guide our path is a testament to the order and the interconnected beauty of the cosmic design. The presence of shimmering ice within the sunless depths of the polar craters tells a story of ancient visitors from the furthest and coldest reaches of the solar system. It is believed that wandering comets, made of frozen light and ancient stone, once drifted into the planet's embrace and left their water behind in the permanent shadows of the north and south. This ice has remained in a state of perfect and undisturbed crystalline peace for billions of years, sheltered from the solar fire by the high and protective walls of the craters. It is a beautiful irony that a world so close to the solar flames can harbor such a vast and frozen sanctuary within its own dark and quiet hollows. We can visualize this ice as a soft and glowing treasure, a remnant of the early universe held forever in the cooling grip of the messenger planet. It is a place of absolute purity, a cold and silent refuge where the history of the distant stars is preserved in the deep and boundless night. Because there is no thick air to scatter the light or soften the horizon, the transition from the bright solar day to the deep velvet night is a moment of absolute and staggering clarity. On our home world, the sky turns to gold and blue as the sun sets. But here the stars are visible with a steady brilliance, even when the sun is at its highest point in the black sky. This creates a world of eternal and shimmering contrasts, where the brilliant light of the star and the cold darkness of the void exist side by side in perfect silence. We find a sense of profound stillness in this transparency, a place where the mind can look out into the infinite without any veil to hide the distant galaxies. It is a sanctuary of pure sight, a quiet theater where the universe reveals its grand scale and its most intimate details simultaneously to the wandering eye. This lack of atmospheric distortion allows every feature of the landscape to be seen in its most honest and shimmering form under the eternal gaze of the cosmos. The deep and somber gray of the surface is influenced by the presence of ancient carbon materials, likely in the form of graphite, which may have once floated on a sea of molten stone. This dark layer acts like a velvet cloak for the planet, absorbing the sun's radiance and giving the landscape its quiet and meditative appearance. It is as if the planet is made of the same material as a pencil's lead, a world that records the history of the sun's touch in its dark and dusty regolith for billions of revolving years. This low reflectivity adds to the planet's mystery, making it a subtle and elusive presence that hides within the brilliance of the inner system. We feel the grounding nature of this dark material, a solid and ancient foundation that absorbs the energy of the universe and holds it within its silent embrace. It is a surface of matte textures and soft shadows, providing a peaceful resting place for the light that travels from the heart of the solar system. The constant breath of the sun, known as the solar wind, gently lifts atoms from the surface and carries them into the shimmering exosphere in a process of soft and rhythmic ionization. This means the very ground beneath the silver dust is slowly and peacefully contributing to the ethereal veil that surrounds the planet in the dark. It is a world that is gradually becoming part of the sky, a quiet release of matter that has been happening for millions of years in the boundless silence. We can imagine these atoms drifting in long and graceful arcs, caught in the magnetic embrace of the planet, before they eventually find their way back to the stone or out into the void. This cycle of rising and falling is a celestial breath, a gentle movement that connects the solid world to the boundless energy of the star. It is a process of constant renewal, where the planet shares its elemental essence with the infinite reaches of the cosmic ocean. The winding ridges that stretch across the plains are the physical manifestation of the planet's slow and peaceful contraction as its iron heart continues to cool. These features, often hundreds of miles long, are like the soft folds in a heavy curtain, marking the points where the world has found its most stable and compact form. This maturation of the stone is a silent and structural dance, a way for the planet to accommodate the changes in its deep and metallic interior through the eons. We follow the lines of these scarps with our mind's eye, feeling the stability and the quiet strength of a world that is perfectly at peace with its own evolution. It is a slow and deliberate unfolding of history, a landscape that matures with the same patience and grace as the turning of the stars. These wrinkles on the planet's face are signs of wisdom and age, marking the long journey toward a state of final and lasting tranquility in the deep void. Mercury is unique in the way its massive metallic core dominates its entire being, leaving only a thin and delicate shell of stone to interface with the vacuum of space. If we were to look inside this silver sphere, we would find that the iron heart occupies nearly 80% of the planet's diameter, a proportion that is far greater than any of its sibling worlds. This makes the planet a world of concentrated purpose, a solid and heavy anchor that resonates with the ancient pulses of the inner solar system. We find a sense of deep security in this density, a feeling that the planet is a permanent and unshakable foundation in the middle of the shimmering solar tide. It is a world that has stripped away the unnecessary, leaving behind only the most resilient and powerful essence of its cosmic self. This heavy heart provides the gravity that keeps the planet on its swift and steady path, a grounding force that resonates through the boundless silence of the universe. The interaction between the planet's magnetic field and the solar wind creates twisted bundles of energy known as magnetic flux ropes, which dance through the exosphere in a display of invisible grace. These structures are like shimmering threads of light that channel the sun's energy directly toward the surface in a rhythmic and magnetic exchange of power. They are silent and powerful connectors, bridges of force that link the small iron world to the great star that sustains it in the golden reaches. We can visualize these swirling patterns as soft and glowing ribbons in the velvet silence, moving with the fluidity of water in a still pond after a gentle rain. This magnetic harmony is a reminder of the invisible bonds that tie all things together in the universe, a quiet and steady vibration that resonates through the boundless dark. It is a display of energy that happens without sound, a magnetic symphony that adds to the eternal beauty of the inner solar system. Even as our modern spacecraft like BP Colombo drift closer to this messenger of light, the planet continues to hold onto its deepest and most ancient mysteries with a sense of quiet dignity. Each new observation is a soft invitation to learn more, a gentle whisper from the stone that speaks of the dawn of the stars and the birth of the spheres. We are in a state of constant and peaceful discovery, peeling back the layers of silver dust to find the truths that lie within the iron heart. The mission moves with a patient and rhythmic pace, mirroring the planet's own deliberate journey around the sun as it prepares to share its wisdom with the rest of the family. We find rest in this ongoing conversation, a feeling of connection to a world that is both incredibly far away and yet intimately known through our shared history. The quest for knowledge is a peaceful journey, a slow and steady walk through the stars toward a state of perfect and universal understanding. Mercury remains the threshold of our solar home, the shimmering first chapter in the grand and beautiful story of the planets that orbit the sun in the boundless silence. In its smallness and its speed, it embodies the spirit of the messenger, a world that carries the energy of the star to the rest of the celestial family. It is a sanctuary of extremes, where the ice and the fire live in a state of eternal and peaceful balance within the deep hollows of the ancient stone. As we finish our detailed observation of this iron giant, we feel the weight of its wisdom and the softness of its silver dust settling over our own wandering minds. We are ready now to leave the messenger behind, carrying its silence and its shimmering light with us as we drift deeper into the heart of our restorative sleep. The universe is wide and boundless, but here, at the very beginning, we have found a place of perfect and lasting peace, a world that moves with the grace of the infinite. Our time with the silver messenger is drawing to a close as we begin to drift slowly away from the iron-rich plains and the silent, shimmering craters of the innermost world. We watch as Mercury becomes a small, radiant spark once more, shrinking back into the golden embrace of the sun from which it never truly wanders. The massive iron heart of the planet remains steady and grounded, a silent anchor in the great cosmic sea that continues its rapid 88-day dance around the solar fire. As the details of the scarps and the deep polar ice fade into the distance, we are left with a profound sense of peace and the knowledge of a world that is both resilient and timeless. The velvet silence of the void returns to cradle our thoughts, carrying the memory of the silver dust and the long, patient shadows into the deeper reaches of our own inner universe. We feel the lightness of our spirits as we move further into the boundless dark, where the stars wait to guide us through the final gates of our journey toward a deep and restorative slumber. Reflecting on the journey, we see that Mercury is a master of balance, holding the freezing touch of ancient ice within the same frame, that endures the sun's most brilliant warmth. This duality is a beautiful reminder that even in the most extreme reaches of existence, there is a place for stillness and a sanctuary for the quietest parts of the soul. The planet has shown us that strength lies in a solid core, an unwavering foundation that remains unchanged through billions of revolving years and the slow cooling of the stars. We carry this sense of stability within us now, letting the grounded energy of the iron messenger settle into our weary limbs and calm our wandering minds. Every crater we witnessed was a story of survival and transformation, a testament to the patient beauty that emerges when time and light meet in the silence. The world we left behind continues its swift and graceful orbit, a silent guardian of the inner circle that watches over the dawn of every new day while we sink into the night. Now, the light of the sun begins to soften, turning from a radiant gold into a gentle, distant glimmer that blends into the eternal tapestry of the night. The weight of the world has fallen away completely, replaced by the effortless grace of the infinite as we sink deeper into the soft cushions of our own restorative sleep. The rhythms of the cosmos, from the 3-2 resonance to the magnetic pulse of the iron core, now match the steady and slowing pace of our own peaceful breathing. There is nothing left to explore, no more mysteries to uncover, only the vast and comforting darkness that invites us to let go and simply be. We are part of the stardust, a tiny reflection of the boundless beauty we have witnessed, drifting through the velvet silence toward a dreamless and perfect rest. The stars whisper a final blessing across the void, their light reaching out to touch us with the warmth of 1,000 distant suns as we fade into the deep. Close your eyes now and let the silver messenger fade into the background of your mind as you enter the timeless kingdom of the deep and eternal night. May your dreams be as vast as the cosmos and your rest as deep as the shadows of the polar craters. Sleep now in the arms of the universe, where the silence is total and the peace is everlasting. Good night, traveler of the stars.